What's up, guys? Exit 12 Brewery here. We are testing out our brand new Cannular. A few things that we're going to teach you guys that, not really teach you guys, this is the first time we're sort of using it, but we have some tips that I think will help you guys out. So, the first thing that you want to do is you want to set this sort of bar here to a height that when you put the can on and push it all the way up, that the can is not moving. If you have some give there, it's a lot harder to get that tight seal. The other thing, and you can't really see it in here, is you want to line up the can with the center ring so it is exactly perfect. Let's see if Nick can get that in here. So right up here, you want to sort of line that thing up. So it hits perfectly and doesn't have some wiggle. You don't want to tighten it too much to crinkle the can. Then the only other thing you're gonna want to do that we noticed is when you start spinning, you really want to hold this piece and this, let it go as far to 1 as possible and far back to 2 as possible. It's a count. So you go 1, like 1 Mississippi, back, 1 Mississippi, back, and that sort of works pretty well.
All right, so we're going to show you guys how our canning process goes. As Brandon mentioned, we just got the Cannular, but it's very similar to the bottling process in terms of how we fill the vessel itself. So what we usually do is it's a little bit easier with cans, as I spill it everywhere. It's a little bit easier with cans than bottles, but we just fill this up first with water and then with some nice hot food grade sanitizer. And then what we end up doing is we have our Blickman beer gun that is connected. It's got its own CO2 output, and we also have a CO2 output to the keg itself. We bleed the keg, we fill it with about 1 or 2 PSI, and now what we can do is start filling. So what we basically do is, if you can hear that, I turn on the air. And I probably overdo it a little bit, but I do it for about 8 to 10 seconds. Pour out any last little bits of food grade sanitizer. And then what I usually do is, I'll do it in the air right now for you guys, but what I usually do is I tilt it, I let it sit, as a little bit extra water, but I tilt it, fills up, and foam doesn't weigh as much as liquid, obviously, so with the cans it's a little bit tougher than with bottles to tell when it's really full. But what I do is I let the foam come all the way up, I let it ride, and what you end up doing is, as it foams up, you are going to push the cap across the top, push it down, just make sure that really it's locked in and it is ready to be canned.
All right, guys, so we're ready to can. The first thing I'm just gonna do is make sure it's aligned with this center one. Push it all the way up, hold this, turn it on.